Well, hello everyone. Hope you're having a good day, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you might be watching this. Uh, this handle on this vent keeps hitting me in the head. I put a new mattress on my bed, and I've lost a few inches between the bed and the roof. But anyway, I'm gonna get here real quick. Talk about something that's been bothering me. I see it every day, and I get questions myself about it. So I just want to address it real quick. I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet. It never happens, but we're gonna try. First of all, I'll introduce myself. Some of y'all don't know me. You may just be scrolling through and stop on this video. My name is Wayne. I've been living in some form of off-grid, in a van, RV, lived off a motorcycle, travel trailer. I've tried to experience it all. I've been doing this. Next month will be starting my 10th year. So I feel like I've got some experience in it. I've learned the do's and the don'ts, the highs and the lows. I believe I pretty much experienced everything there is to experience, so I'm no expert in it, but I think I know enough to talk about what I'm fixing to talk about. So anyway, I want to say hello, appreciate you stopping by. So let's get right into it, because this is a subject we could talk about for hours, and everybody's going to have their own opinion. First, let me stress, this is my opinion based on my life and the years I've been out here on the road. So, your situation may vary a little bit, but in general, it's gonna go across the board to everybody. Let me give me some coffee real quick. Excuse me. All right. There's this misconception, mainly on YouTube, any social media, because of these influencers. One in particular that I've met and I've been around for several years, and I've seen the true colors of this person. I'm not going to give their name, but everybody's pretty much heard his name. But I get asked several times, at least once or twice every few months, and there's influencers all over the internet covering this, about living in a van or an RV or whatever and saving tons of money and just move in and within 3 months you got $200,000 saved in your account and you can go buy your house. Well, that's not true. That's a load of garbage, and I'm here to tell you right now, stop believing that mess. It's a lie. All right, I'm just going to try to skim across a lot of this because, like I said, we could be here for 3 hours. There's a certain person, the big pusher on this, there's a certain person on YouTube, we'll just call him Santa Claus. Most of y'all know who he is. He really pushes this. He tells elderly folks, older folks who are struggling in life, the disability or the Social Security is not even covering their bills. They're just drowning, barely staying afloat. He tells them, oh, go buy you a van or throw you a blanket in the backseat of your car and get rid of everything you got and come on out here with us. All your troubles will go away. Well, that's a load of garbage. First, let me tell you, this particular person has never had to struggle. You can do your own research. It's public knowledge. This person got hurt at work and received a large insurance check. So they've been floating on the old magic carpet the whole time they've been out here. They don't know what struggling and have to live in a vehicle means. But anyway, you do your own research on that. That's not the point of this video. The point is the lies and the myths and the miscommunicating what this life is really like. I forgot to put I'm using my phone. I just got text. I don't know if it's going to show up or not. But, yeah. Now, a lot of what I'm about to say, I'm going to base off my life because I can speak about my life being out here on the road 10 years. But it covers, in general, it's going to cover everybody. The first myth or lie is you can sell your house or move out of your apartment or whatever you're doing, move in a van, RV or whatever, and all your bills go away. You no longer have bills. That's a lie. That's the biggest lie on here. Whether you got a mortgage or you're renting, yes, that's going to go away, but you're just going to trade it for another bill. That's all you're going to do. Nothing changes when you move in a vehicle. Nothing. And before you start screaming at the screen, hollering at me, we're going to touch both sides of this. But Nothing changes by moving out of your house or apartment or whatever and moving into a vehicle. Actually, it gets a little bit more expensive. Yes, you're going to get rid of that mortgage payment or rent or whatever. Yes, that's going to go away, but you're just going to trade it for another bill. But your phone bill, your health insurance, vehicle insurance, whatever, your food bill, whatever you spend on entertainment, that's all going to change. Nothing's going to change there. It's going to stay the same. Just because you moved out of a house or apartment into a vehicle, that doesn't magically go away. That's a daily expense that you choose to do. Just because you move in a van or an RV, you're still going to eat the same kind of foods. And a lot of times it's going to go up because you're going to start eating out more because you don't want to cook in this little space. Your phone bill's not going to go down. It's going to stay the same. Why would it go down? They don't care if you live in a van. Health insurance is going to stay the same. Your entertainment might change a little bit. You're not going to save a penny by doing this. Actually, your expenses are going to go up. Yes, you don't pay the mortgage payment or the rent no more, but all you did was trade it for gasoline expense. Your vehicle, your home, your vehicle, you're going to have to move it. You don't own the property you're setting. You get a 3-day stay or a 14-day stay or whatever on free camping land, public lands, and then you got to move. So you got to have gas to move, and then you got to have gas to get to the next town, the next state or whatever. And that vehicle is also your personal transportation vehicle. So your daily running, your regular errands, going to the post office or the grocery store, whatever, you're spending gas on that. Your maintenance costs on your vehicle is going to double because now you're using it twice as much. I've got a diesel heater, but it's pretty efficient. That's a whole different story. But I got to buy diesel for it for my heater. If you got a diesel heater, you're going to have to buy diesel. So there's another expense. Or if you heat with propane, you have to buy propane, which you probably didn't have in your house or apartment. So there's another expense you're spending money. So the short version of that argument there is whatever you saved on your rent or your mortgage payment, you're just trading it for something else. The food bill, your grocery bill, it's not going to change. Your eating habits are going to stay the same. And like I said, possibly could go up because I'm basing this off my life. I eat out a little bit more than I normally did because sometimes, I'm in a cramped space. Sometimes I just don't feel like cooking. So I'll swing by a restaurant or a fast food joint or something. My health insurance bill didn't go down. They didn't give me a discount just because I lived in here. My vehicle insurance didn't go down. Actually, if they find out you're living in your van or in your RV full time, your insurance is actually going to go up. So be careful on that. My phone bill didn't go down. They don't care if I live in this van. Why would they lower my bill because I live in this van? So that's the lie. That's the myth and the lie that these influencers are feeding you on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok that, you're drowning in debt. Throw a blanket in the backseat of your car, live in your car. It all goes away. That's a load of garbage, folks. Quit believing that mess. I understand. Now, I did this by choice. And a lot of folks that are out here living like this, we do it by choice. But I understand a lot of you are just drowning. You're barely staying above water, and you're just looking for any kind of relief. I get it. That's the reason you're doing this. But in that situation, this isn't the answer. You're going to come out here and you're going to be miserable because, you got to love nature. You got to love to be out here. I'm going to call it the wild. Or this is not going to work for you. You're going to be flat miserable. Just because you like going to your park on Saturdays and walking your dog in the park doesn't mean you're an outdoor adventure person. Doesn't mean that at all. It's them YouTube people, and I try not to do it. I do my best to not try to follow this pattern. But most of them sell you the glory and the fame of being out here. They find the prettiest place they can take a picture or a short video and show that to you. They don't show you the rest of the struggle. They don't show you the mud and truck stop parking lots, and they don't show you, them staying at a Walmart parking lot with people blasting the radio right beside them, or even coming out to a place like this and tracking dirt in and out, and they just don't show you the real life. So it's you gotta remember when you watch these videos, that's their income or business, so to speak. They're trying to sell you that video, so of course they're going to show you the greatest and best things they can find to show you because they want you to watch it. That's how they get their money. So stop believing that mess. It's complete garbage. All right, now we could go really deep into this, but I'm just trying to skim across the top to open your eyes and let you do your own research. All right, now I've sat here and said that you won't save a penny, you won't save nothing. So let's get to the other side of the coin. If you move in a car or a van or RV, you can save money. Now I know that contradicts what I just said. I understand, but stay with me. But you gotta really tighten the old belt and buckle down to make that happen. You gotta really cut back on your food, and when I don't mean starve to death, I'm not talking about that. But quit buying the steaks and the shrimp and go down to the bologna and the ramen noodle. That's what you gotta do. Maybe change plans on your phone. Get rid of them 16 extra lines and unlimited, and go down to the basic package. Try to save $10, $12 on that. There's other ways you can save. I mean, like I said, every person's situation is going to be different. I'm just trying to align it off of my life. Maybe, me personally, I wouldn't want to do this just because of the way I am, but you build your little van out and maybe see if a family member lets you park in their driveway, or maybe sneak it around back and park in their backyard. Sit there stationary. That'd save you a ton on gas, and then you would actually be saving on your rent or mortgage, and put that money away and save and get yourself back on top. You could probably do something like that. I wouldn't want to. That would be so uncomfortable. That's the reason I'm in the woods now. You can't see it, but that's the reason I come out here and just park the brakes and just sit here because keep my expenses low. And I enjoy being out here. I love it out here. But there's some things you can think about. So I know I just told you can't save money living in a vehicle. And then I turn around and tell you can. But here's the thing. Cutting back on your food expense or your gas expense, quit moving around so much, or changing your phone plan. You can do that in your house. You can do the same thing in your apartment. You don't have to stuff yourself in the backseat of a car to make them changes. You can do that right there where you're at. It's called the old saying, living within your means. And sometimes you got to drop down below your means pretty far to try to get them coins starting to stack up. But my main purpose of making this video, I know it's not glamorous. I'm not showing the ocean crashing waves and the birds flying over, because I'm trying to have a face-to-face and be serious with you. I just met somebody who's fell in this trap, and I feel so sorry for them because they was drowned in their old situation, just about to go under, and they ran across this old man on YouTube who looks like Santa Claus and fell in that trap. He, watching that video, where he says, get rid of everything and put your sleeping bag in the back seat, and it's magically going to get better. Well, they fell in that trap, and now they're right down the road here from me, broke. They have no money. They got a quarter tank of gas. I gave them quite a bit of food I got. And they have no heat source. They're cold. I mean, they're starting the car up, running the heater. But they don't have like a diesel heater or a buddy. So they just moved out of, I'm going to loosely say, comfortable situation, and put themselves out here in misery, and nothing's changed. It's actually gotten worse. Now, granted, based on what I've seen talking to them, they're a little bit out of their element. I don't think they've ever been on a gravel road in their whole life, so they're a little bit out of their element. I spent the whole day with them yesterday, just giving them what little bit of knowledge I got, and trying to give them a little pep talk, so to speak, and told them, yes, I know you're out of your element and you're uncomfortable and you hate it here, but just do whatever you got to do to make yourself more comfortable. Whatever that is, do it. And I'm not going to get into our whole conversation, but we broke it down. I didn't just say that and walk away. But anyway, the point is, they watched Santa Claus on YouTube and thought, let me get rid of my furniture and everything. I'm going to sleep in my car 2 nights, and I'm going to have $20,000 in the bank next month. Well, that's not going to happen, folks. And they just found out the hard way. That's not going to happen. So stop believing that mess. If you happen to be watching this and you're in a situation where you're struggling financially or whatever, and you're just about to go under, sit down right there at your kitchen table and make changes. Unless you're ready for an adventure now. Like I said, we could talk for hours on this. This lifestyle is definitely an adventure. You got to enjoy the unstableness. You got to enjoy the unexpected things that pop up. You got to enjoy being out here in the mud and the rain and the sunny days. If you're really an outdoor adventure person, this might be for you. This might actually work. But if you're Armani suit and silk scarves and cappuccinos every day, coming out here it's actually going to be worse for you. Don't do it. Sit down at your kitchen table, write you up a new budget, and I mean really, really tighten that rope down and squeeze every penny you can out of your finances and stick to it. Make the changes right there in your house, and you're going to be better off than coming out here. This lifestyle is not glamorous. It's not what they influencers on the social media show you. And most of y'all, a lot of my followers are living this life, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. It has its days that you're up on top of the mountain. There's days that you couldn't give me $1 million for, for that day. But 72% of the time, there's days you're like, what in the world am I doing? What is wrong with my head? There's a lot of them days, and they don't show you that on YouTube. But like I said, a lot of my followers, you're pretty much, you're living this lifestyle, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the folks who are just sitting on their couch, flipping through YouTube, and for whatever reason they're thinking about doing this life, they do not understand. You have to be a special breed to live like this. Now, I'm not saying you gotta be no rough mountain man with an axe and a 4-foot long beard. I'm not talking about that. Mentally, you gotta be tough. Mentally, you gotta be tough. If you ever notice, well, you may not, because you're not out here like we are. Well, again, I'm gonna try to speak for me. Everybody I've met who lives an alternative life, whether it be in a van, RV, or whatever, you can spot right off that they're mentally, oh, it's raining, let me close my vent. They don't show you that on YouTube. You get rain on your head. But most of the people I met living this life out here, yeah, I'm not saying they're walking around big old muscles and a wife beater. I'm talking about mentally. They're strong. They don't need you. I hate to use that such a strong, harsh language, but they don't need you. They don't need your input or information. They got this figured out. They can make it, and if something goes wrong, they'll figure it out. They'll make it work. They're mentally strong. And that's what it takes to live this lifestyle. You can't come out here with your bunny slippers on and your cappuccino with your pinky up in the air like you see on Instagram and YouTube. They're standing there, bunny slippers with their cappuccino and their pinky up and staring at the ocean. That's not this life. That's not how it is. Now, there's some days that, yeah, you may be standing by an ocean with your bunny slippers on, but usually that's not this life. Usually you're out in the desert stuck in old powder sand, or with flat tire 6 miles out in the woods out here. That's usually what's going on. So I'm starting to ramble now because, like I said, we could talk for hours about this. But in general, the point I was trying to make is, stop believing, if you're in a bad situation financially, stop believing these silly old influencers and don't fall for the trap that they're trying to feed you, because all they want you to do is watch that video so they can get their check at the end of the month. That's all. They don't care about you. They're not giving you no useful information at all. Stop believing that garbage. Now, if you're really in a real bad situation, this is going to sound silly, but I'm going to say it anyway. Now, I'm talking about drastic financially, right? You're pretty much going to lose anything anyway, no matter what you do. And a lot of people are in that situation. You're 1 week from being evicted or whatever, your car get repossessed. If you really want to see how to make it, and I don't mean glamorous. I'm not talking about shrimp and cocktails every night. I'm just talking about actually making it. Go down there and watch some of them homeless folks in your town, or maybe if you see one of us out somewhere, watch us. or shoot, even come up and talk to us. Maybe share your situation. That's where you're going to learn how to make it. When the going gets tough, go watch them folks. I'm not saying homeless life is glorious and glamorous. I'm not trying to say that. But them folks, they've hit bottom and bounced. They got to make it. Them homeless folks, I'm talking about in your towns, you see, yes, I get it. Most of them are alcoholics or drug addicts. I understand that, but they still got to eat. They still got to have a warm place to sleep. They still got to have a dry place to go when it rains. They got to make it happen because they have nothing else. If you want to learn how to survive and really just dig your heels in and make it, watch them folks. They got to. They have no choice. They have to. Don't watch some Fruit Loop on YouTube and their, $200,000 Instagram Sprinter van wearing their North Face suit. Don't watch them old clowns. Go down there to your local gas station and watch some homeless folks. They'll show you how to make it. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. I just had to vent, had to get this off my chest. I watched a video last night, and this clown was feeding so much garbage, and it was all fake. I mean, I've been out here long enough. I can spot him. He's probably living in a 2,800 square foot apartment, but he was sitting in his van talking about, I cut up this and make 2 meals out of it, and you look at his van, it was like what I call Instagram vans. This clown was just feeding a bunch of, he just wants you to watch. So anyway, that kind of lit a spark in me, and I got upset, so I decided I'd try to get some real truthful information out here that this life ain't glamorous. If you come out here, you got to do it by choice. You got to really love adventure. You got to really love being outdoors. You got to love being on public display all the time. And you got to have a strong mental mindset to know how to problem solve and get yourself out of jams. Because that's what it takes. Them cappuccinos and bunny slippers is not going to save you when the going gets rough out here. So anyway, I'm going to get off here. I want to say hello to all my subscribers, new and old, my family and friends. I want to thank all of you for stopping by, visiting. If you just clicked on this video for 2 minutes and clicked off, hey, I appreciate it. I certainly appreciate it. All my friends up north, the South African boys, I want to say hello to them. The farm, say hello to my farm, my farm, but my farm friends. And I think that about covers it. I'm sure I'll be crying the blues about something else tomorrow, but anyway, that about covers everything I want to say real quick. Just get out there and enjoy life. Don't matter if you're down in the valley right now, you can still get out there and enjoy the day. There's no sense to sit down in the corner and give up. There's no reason to do that. When you give up is when you die. Stand up and fight. It's not going to be easy. I'm not trying to blow bubbles on you and let the rainbow cover your head. It's not going to be easy. If you're in a situation that you're looking for ways out, it's still going to be hard, but that don't mean you got to give up. You don't have to give up. Go, whatever. I don't know what you like to do, what your favorite thing is. For me, I like being in the woods. I like being by lakes. But whatever your thing that pleases you, puts a little joy in your heart, go do it. I mean, don't just sit down and give up because repo man standing outside looking, waiting for your car. That don't mean you gotta give up. Yeah, it sucks. I get it. It sucks. But, does that mean you gotta sit down in the corner and shrivel up and die? No. No, it just means you're gonna have to walk for a little while. That's all it means. You just have to make sure your shoes are tied and you're gonna have to walk a little bit. You'll get another car, you'll get another place or whatever. So just keep your head up. Definitely don't watch Santa Claus on YouTube because he'll lead you right down the dead end road. I'm gonna stop on that because that I could really go on forever about him. But just keep your head up. Every time you go down the valley, that means one thing: you have to go up a mountain to get out. So you're gonna be back on top one day. It may take you a little while to walk across that valley, but you're eventually gonna be back on top of the mountain. So just stick in there, do what you gotta do to get it done, and you'll be all right. You'll make it. So until I see y'all next time, get out and enjoy life, and God bless you.